You know, the market looked at this news pretty optimistically yesterday. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised to see that this deal was getting done. But some of the language we heard later, some of the walking back gave me some pause. The idea that this deal will not be signed by the president unless it's paired with the other half of the deal, the other part of the deal that got kind of split off from this, and similar comments coming from Nancy Pelosi really makes me think that we're not that much closer to getting something done. What do you think?
I think this is an extraordinary deal. I mean, when was the last time you saw senators from both parties coming together to do something this big? Look, there are parts of the president's vision for this country that the Republican Party won't support, but there are parts that we really can do together. In fact, the question that's been asked of us for months is, okay, is it really true that when you look at infrastructure, you look at what needs to happen around broadband, around water, around transportation infrastructure, is it really true that even on this, Democrats and Republicans can come together? And yesterday was evidence that the answer is yes. This is going to be great for the country. It's going to be great for the economy, and it's a truly historic level of investment. We're talking about more for passenger rail than has been done since the creation of Amtrak. We're talking about a major investment in our roads and bridges, as well as a lot of things that are going to benefit our sustainability as a country, clean energy transmission, a lot of steps that are going to be critically important, and it's so much better. So much better for the country, so much better for the policy when we can actually do it together across the aisle, something a lot of Americans were beginning to despair over whether it's possible on any issue.
That's how I felt when I heard the president come out with those 10 senators. That's not how I felt when I heard they were tying it all to everything else being done first. I mean, this isn't a deal if you still have to say the other $4 trillion or $6 trillion or whatever it is that Bernie Sanders is working on has to get approved first. And Bernie Sanders himself said, look, you heard it from Chuck Schumer, you heard it from Pelosi, you heard it from President Biden. This is not going to get done unless we get all the rest of it done, too. And that made me think, OK, this is not going to get done.
No, I think this has been understood from the beginning. You know, most of the Republican senators I've spent time with this year so far understand and accept that there are some elements of the president's agenda that we're not going to be able to do with them, but of course we're going to still pursue them. Republicans have understood and have not asked us to abandon the rest of the president's agenda.
No, I agree. I thought that was always going to get done later, but I didn't think it would be tied to that getting accomplished. My thought was, and I think most of the Republican senators you're talking about, just from speaking with them, thought, yes, we'll do this part of it. We can't agree with the rest of it, but that's OK. They can figure that out later. I don't think they realized that that had to be figured out first before this gets done. I think you lose a lot of them if that's what this is tied to.
Well, we're doing them at the same time, and I think the fundamental question is not which month, which date, which part of which bill passes. The fundamental question is, are we going to deliver for the American people? And yes, the American people expect and demand that we deliver things like child care, other things that aren't in this compromise, like improving veterans' hospitals. Of course, we're going to continue working on that. That's how two tracks strategy works. We'll do one part on the one track and the other part on the bipartisan track, and we are proud of what we were able to put together on this bipartisan track. It's not perfect. We didn't get everything we wanted. The Republicans didn't get everything that they wanted. But as the president says, that's how compromise works. And I think it's reassuring to see that that kind of legislative work is possible. Now, we still got a lot of work to do this year to actually deliver. But this is incredibly encouraging. And the substance of this deal, obviously, as transportation secretary, is the thing that I'm most excited about, because it will transform what it is like to move around, to drink water, to have access to the internet in America. It's not just good for the economy, it's good for our future.
I guess everything, though, hinges on whether you're going to be able to get the 50 votes in reconciliation. Do you have Manchin and Sinema? Have they signed off on some sort of plan for the larger part of this? Because they've been the ones who have expressed lots of concerns. Without them, it doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, you can't guarantee how a senator is going to vote on a bill that hasn't yet been written. But what I'll say is that this atmosphere of compromise and collaboration, I think, makes progress more likely and more possible on all fronts. And we're going to continue to pursue that, something that not just Democrats, but Americans expect us to do. And when you talk about something like child care, you talk about some of the other things that we know need to happen around clean energy. These are things that are not just Democratic Party priorities, they're American priorities. But there is a part of the president's vision, an enormous part, a $1.2 trillion part of the president's vision that we can actually do together, that we can do with Republicans and Democrats side by side. That's what you saw yesterday, and that's something I think the country has been hungry for us to do.
Mr. Secretary, I've appealed to your transportation secretary urges before. I didn't get the complete answer I wanted last time. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to get it to you this time. Let's say that all these other ancillary things that you're talking about, let's say that that's just not going to go. That made from Manchin or the caucus or whatever, and that your deal, your transportation focused deal gets scuttled. You wouldn't be the slightest bit chagrined or unhappy if, going for the moon with the human infrastructure or however you want to call it, you wouldn't be chagrined if you had to sacrifice all this stuff that you were going to get just because you don't get Bernie Sanders' kitchen sink bill?
Of course, we need and want to do all of these things, and I care deeply about the transportation infrastructure elements that we struck a bipartisan deal to get done. But the American people don't expect us to walk away from child care. The American people aren't expecting us to walk away from clean energy or these other wildly popular, deeply important policy priorities. It's just that we have a common sense recognition that there are some things that we can do together across the aisle and some things that we can't. It's like the rescue plan. Unfortunately, it was necessary for the rescue plan to be passed on party lines. It still was the right thing to do, and it's making America better off. But it's so much better when we can do at least part of it together, and that's what this deal represents.
Market was up yesterday because investors assumed that this deal was going to get done and probably get done sooner rather than later. What sort of timeline would you put on it now that we realize the two bills aren't split, that they're actually linked together?
Well, there's no time to lose. Congress works in very complex ways. As you know, there are markups in committee on bills that are relevant to this, things going to the floor over the summer. I think July is going to be a big month, and then we head toward that end of the fiscal year. What I'll say is we have an enormous sense of urgency about this because the American people rightly are impatient for us to deliver results, and so is the president.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.